Kiev and Brussels look like honeymooners after Ukraine was recommended for EU candidate status. But there still seems to be a little rotten apple to spoil the barrel.
Yes, Ukraine deserves European perspective. Yes, Ukraine should be welcomed as a candidate country. Good work has been done, but important work also remains to be done.
Yes, important work, enormous work. Let's take a look at the official list of demands. Adopt a plan for reforming the entire law enforcement sector and media, as well as anti-money laundering legislation and national minorities legal framework. Implement the anti-oligarch law. That's just a few of them. It sounds like there are many problems in the candidate country, and the goal is quite hard to achieve, at least in the nearest future. So will the EU turn a blind eye, or is it ready to take a risk? Next, Ukraine is asked to further strengthen the fight against corruption, the fight that wasn't quite successful lately. According to Transparency International's 2021 Corruption Perceptions Index, Ukraine ranked 122nd out of 180 countries, close to Zambia. But for the EU, it seems Ukraine doesn't even have to succeed. Promising to tighten the fight could just be good enough. For the sake of justice, Georgia also got a similar list of demands to become an EU candidate, like diversifying political parties and guaranteeing media freedom. Well, despite the country's situation with the opposition, at least there actually is one in Georgia, and freedom of speech seems much better there compared to Kiev. Tbilisi never reached the level Ukraine has similarly attained overnight. And Georgia is not the only country facing such injustice. The waiting list to join the elite European club is long, and some have been standing in line for decades, like Turkey, which has been seeking EU membership for 35 years. Seeing Ukraine simply skipping the queue could certainly make such countries very angry.
It's a matter of interest. Is Russia important, is Turkey important, or is Ukraine important? Ukraine is suitable for Europe, enough to be against Russia. The US supports it.
In other words, the European Union and the imperialists act in their own interests. So they have no interest here, or cultural, social conditions and cyclical conditions may have changed. It could be for them to speed up now, to isolate and to encircle Russia.
They especially want to do this in order to separate Ukraine from Russia's patronage and expand NATO's borders further. So that's it, there's nothing else.
International law no longer exists. The European Union no longer has any criteria. They gave Ukraine the status to receive it, so it doesn't make any sense anymore.
The whole labyrinth that is presented to the candidate countries, in the end, turned into one decision for Ukraine.
But such concerns are being voiced not only among candidates who are losing their patience, but even some EU-founding countries, like France.
In order to enter the European family as equals, Ukraine must revise its history. It should stop glorifying Nazi collaborators who killed tens of thousands of Jews. Despite there being a Babi Yar memorial in Kiev, the street leading there is named after Stepan Bandera, a man hero-worshipped in Ukraine schools, who himself killed tens of thousands of Jews and was allied with Nazis.
Conclusion. Kiev seems to be getting its candidacy through a buy now, pay later program. The question is, will it actually ever be able to pay up? Perhaps it's still too early to ask such questions when engagement doesn't always lead to marriage. In any case, EU leaders are due to decide on Ukraine's candidate status later this week.